So it is late April, and with the whole coronavirus situation, I think everybody's had a lot of time to think, sometimes think too much. But I've been thinking about a lot of things, and I just wanted to start a little video diary. If one person or nobody even watches it ever, that's fine. But just to get some thoughts down that have been going through my mind for the last couple months. I've wanted to do this for a while, but I just never did it, and I thought, well, this is as good a time as any. So there's kind of three, thoughts that I wanted to talk about today, or just get off my mind. And they all kind of interrelate. One kind of from a faith perspective, one from more my vocation, physical therapy, and then one kind of a new way of thinking about goals and kind of working towards goals. So the first piece is Luke 2:52. From when I was really young, going to camp, that verse has really influenced me a great deal. So it's Jesus grew in wisdom, stature, and favor with God and man. So I think that's kind of a good template for how we can work to improve our lives, growing in wisdom, both of the scriptures and in our vocation, or for physical therapy in the science of how the tissue heals, physiology, anatomy, that kind of thing. And then stature, I think there is a physical component. So I think keeping ourselves physically fit, strong, able to do the work that God gives us to do. And then favor with God and man, that social component, which is so important, that I think all of us are missing a great deal. Whether it's from church or a sports team or the gym or a community group, whatever it is, we're missing that social connection. Then that ties in with kind of the vocational piece that I've been thinking about a lot. Is in physical therapy over the last 10 or something years or more, there's been a push towards the biopsychosocial model of care, which strays away from the biomedical model, which is basically you have a tissue problem and we treat the tissue problem. In this case, we try to treat the whole person, thinking about their environment, their relationships, their beliefs, all of these things. And something that kind of bothered me about this is I felt like there's a component that wasn't represented, and that's the spiritual. So I looked up biopsychosocial-spiritual model, and the only thing I really found was in nursing journals, and that was at end of life. So like palliative care, they would add the spiritual component because the person was getting ready to die. And I think it bothered me a great deal, because I think that to live life to the fullest, that spiritual component should be every day. It should be from when we're young to when we're old. Not that as a physical therapist I should be counseling people or going deep into spiritual matters, but that is a component of life that is important, and that can influence in the physical therapy world, that can influence somebody's pain, their beliefs, their healing, their grieving, all those kind of things. So I want this, whatever this is called, a vlog or a YouTube video content or whatever, to be about the bio. So I like strength and conditioning stuff and training. In my physical therapy profession, I like to figure out how we can move better, be stronger, be more resilient. The psychosocial, that's kind of like, the way I look at it is the favor with God and man. So how can we interact with each other better? How can we grow closer emotionally? Which is that's a something I definitely need to work on. And then the spiritual is definitely how to grow faith, verses or books that are really impacting me. So that's what I'm going to try to share on this YouTube video diary. And then the other piece that really is impacting me right now is Order of Man has a kind of a way to set up goal setting and planning. I'm going to grab it. And it was a little different than anything I've used in the past, because usually I'll set yearly goals and then they kind of fizzle out. They kind of get put on the wayside if there's any hiccups or anything in life that happens. But this in this model, there's 4 objectives, which I recommend you go to that website, Order Man, and check it out. It's pretty cool. But anyway, there's calibration, connection, condition, and contribution. And so these kind of tie in again to the biopsychosocial model, Luke 2:52, because there's connection, which is like the social aspect or the favor with God and man piece. There's condition, which is like the physical piece. Contribution is how our lives are impacting others, or how we can make a difference. And then calibration is kind of the spiritual or however you want to describe it, the spiritual component, improving in that. And basically you set 3-month objectives and then figure out how you can reach those objectives, and then have a daily kind of accountability with yourself. So that's those 3 things have tied into my life recently, and I just wanted to get those off, onto a video, just to clarify them in my mind. And hopefully if anybody watches this at any point, they'll get something from this, and if not, no worries.